Hi. Um, so this is my first ever video blog, and bear with me as I learn how to do these videos and edit them, so they might not be as great. So I apologize in advance. So with that being said, let me say my name is Frankie, and I am 25 years old. I am the mother of two awesome children. My 1 year old daughter, Havana Olivia, and my son, Mason, who's 6. And Mason is the inspiration for me starting up this blog and this networking. My son, Mason, has autism. And I had Mason really young. I was 18 when I got pregnant. He was still in high school. And 19 when I gave birth to him, October 7th, 2007. And I was very lost. I didn't have a lot of family support, a lot of emotional support. And that kind of was rough for me, which is another reason why I started this, because there's so many young moms and dads, there's a lot of young parents that get this diagnosis of autism and they don't know where to turn to and who to talk to or what have you. Um, Mason was diagnosed February 2012. It's been 2 years now, and it has been a friggin' journey. Um, I always knew Mason was different per se. His talking didn't really pick up. He skipped so many milestones. He didn't crawl at all. He crawled once backwards, and that was it. 9 months he started walking. And his speech never really took off. He would say mama and baba, and he said thank you once. And then it just stopped one day. And I was so confused. I didn't know if this was normal. I didn't know if, you know, this is just a stage. I was 19, going on 20. I didn't have experience with babies, so I didn't know, but I knew. Like I didn't know, but I knew. Like it got like motherly intuition that never fails you. So, anyways, um, I went on a family vacation for Thanksgiving in 2008. Mason had already turned 1 that past month, and we were sitting at a restaurant, and it was with my triplet cousins, and all three have autism. They all have different levels of the spectrum, but I noticed that Mason had a lot of similarities to them, and I kept pulling my mom, and I kept pulling my uncle, and like, hey, Mason does that. Hey, Mason does that. Like, oh, is that normal, or is that like an autism thing? And no one took me serious, which really pissed me off at the time, and kind of still does to this point. Because I was so young, people didn't take me serious. And it's not a feeling, it's a fact. And I'll get into that when I, go about Mason's story of getting him in the evaluations and everything. No one listened to my concerns. Nobody took me serious, and it really pissed me off. Like, my son does flapping, and he yells, and he freaks out, and he bangs his head on tables or objects, and it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal. So I took my concerns to his pediatrician, and I will never forget this day, because that's the day that was it. I was done. I took Mason to his pediatrician, told him my concerns, and I get told, your son will talk when he's ready. You're worrying for nothing. You have a PhD, and that's what you're gonna tell me? For real? No. When I started hanging out with other mothers and seeing how their kids were, I knew for a fact Mason was different. It was this back and forth being told maybe he's just spoiled. He'll talk on his own. Oh, he's a boy. Boys physically excel faster than girls, and girls excel faster verbally than boys, which is freaking lonely. Okay? So I moved out of Jersey to Florida um, for my own reasons. And I was misdiagnosed so many times. I was told Mason just has a speech delay. Mason just has behavioral issues. They were wrong. They were all wrong. So I started Googling things and started educating myself. The more I Googled, the more I read, the more I flipped pages in books, and it enraged me so much that nobody would listen to me. Like, why wouldn't you listen? Why wouldn't you help us? Like, I know something's wrong, but nobody wanted to hear it. And I put Mason into speech therapy, and it wasn't working. And they said, oh, his behavior is just too out of control. And I was just like, well, why wouldn't you do more evaluations? If you see that his behavior is an issue, wouldn't you want to look more into that? Like, no one wanted to listen. So I packed my shit and I moved back to New Jersey, where I have to say it is a great state, and it has a lot of programs for special needs kids, especially autistic children. Now, it doesn't come easy. You have to fight for it. By this time, Mason was already 3.5, almost 4, when I requested the evaluation through the school board. They never returned my phone calls. They always had an excuse. And I started showing up to the Board of Education saying, hey, I mailed my letter. Every day was a new excuse. Oh, you have to mail the letter. Oh, you have to have it typed. Oh, it has to come certified. Well, suckers, I printed out that letter and I handed it to the secretary. It's like, there's no excuse. There you go. The letter's in your hand. Point blank. Can't lose it. Because I got 10 copies in my purse if you would like them all. These people come up with an excuse. So, anywho. Finally, after being told, we don't do those evaluations. We don't have those types of studies. I went to the Nutley, New Jersey Public Library and studied my ass off as if I was going to law school. And I highlighted every statute for the disability law. I Googled and researched programs, Head Start, the special ed pre-K program, the autism programs. Every state is different. That being said, I educated myself on every New Jersey statute that I could get my hands on. Not every state is the same, like I've said. I strongly suggest that you guys go to your local library and check out what programs your state does have. A lot of it is on the internet. You gotta do your homework. I'm going to provide as many links as possible. A lot of them will be New Jersey, and I'm sorry if that's an inconvenience. I don't know much outside of the state of New Jersey. I know a little bit on Florida, and all I could say about Florida is that they friggin' suck. Just from personal experience, Florida is the crappiest state I've ever experienced for special needs kids. So, educate yourself. Hopefully the links that I provide you all will lead you to a network or a little glimpse of what our state provides versus yours. And you know what, who knows, some people are passionate enough to get a petition started and fight for your state to get the funding. I know I'm very much involved with certain causes, and I've signed plenty of petitions. So with that being said, finally, Mason got the evaluation for free through the public school district that we lived in, And that evaluation included speech, cognitive, physical. Um, I don't know the professional terminology, so bear with me. I'm just a mom. Cognitive, physical, therapy. They did like a evaluation for him with that. Speech was the big one. Behavioral, developmental, and they even sent me to a pediatric developmental specialist, psychiatrist, and psychological developmental center for free through the school board's budget, um, which is why I am so adamant about educating yourself, because the school board, unfortunately, from my own experience, they don't see our children as children. They don't see Mason as, oh, it's Mason. Hey. No. Oh, look, that's another Apple computer we won't get for our school because this kid's special ed and that's out of our budget. Unfortunately, they don't give a crap about our kids. Um, so you have to be your child's voice, and you have to really be a bitch. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. Me being nice and professional didn't get me far. Me being adamant, consistent, on top of them, on their ass, and constantly saying, well, really? Because this is the law. Really? Because that's the law. Really? Because that's not legal. And pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it is what got me so far. You can't be a pansy. You cannot take no for an answer, because that's your tax dollars and you paid for these services already. The least they could do is give it back to you. So Mason went to this child developmental center, and I get really emotional with this though. 2 years later. Okay. I was 23 when Mason was diagnosed. I spent years studying and researching and busting my ass to finally be heard. But no amount of research, no amount of preparation will ever nothing will ever prepare you for a doctor telling you your child is autistic. Doesn't matter how much you think you know. When you hear those words, sorry, your son has autism, you're not going to be like, I knew it, thanks, let's get the ball rolling. I don't care how strong you are emotionally. When Mason's doctor told me Mason is on the autistic spectrum, he has autism, it was like the biggest punch to the gut I have received. All my hopes and dreams for my son went out the freaking window. This isn't the chicken pox. This isn't the flu. You don't just take some medication and it goes away. This is something that stays with our kids forever. And the best advice I could give to the newly diagnosed parents: cry. I wish someone told me it was okay to cry. Cry. In a sense, you're grieving. You're grieving your child. You didn't lose them. Yeah, they're alive. And yeah, it could be a lot worse, but that's not something a parent that just was told that their child has autism wants to hear. Cry. Grieve. Let it out. Scream into a pillow. Punch a wall. Get that feeling out, because that's going to help you heal. Because it's going to be a long, bumpy road ahead of you. I'm sorry. I really didn't think that this would bring up so many emotions. I was very young and still am. And it's still hard, you know? Yeah, Mason got into programs that I busted my butt for. And he's getting on track. Mason went from almost nonverbal to talking like a chatterbot. Like, I can't get him to shut the hell up, which is a blessing. But I keep Tylenol on my dresser. A little dark humor, and please excuse my refrigerator that is older than the sands of time. Uh, anyway, Mason's talking. He's 6. His speech is 3, 4 years old, but he's talking. He received 5 days a week free speech therapy, private and group, through his school. He receives occupational therapy and physical therapy. In New Jersey, they provide it. And if that school district can't, guess what? They have to pay for the transportation to take your child to a school district that does provide it. And I'm sure many other states have this. But it's a secret that they don't want us parents to know because, like I said, it comes out of their budget. Oh well, too bad, so sad. When you're done wiping your tears, you need to put on your suit of armor, your Superman cape, your Batman mask, and you need to be a super parent because your child may not have a voice, but you do. And you're going to be your child's voice. And you're going to fight as if this is their life is on the line. Don't take no for an answer. The door closes, climb through that damn window and find another way in. You're going to be dicked around. You're going to be told no. You're going to be told we can't. And you're going to take a paper that you printed out from the public library or your own computer of the statutes of your laws and laws of your state, and you can slam it on that person's desk and be like, really? Try me now. There's 2 words school boards are here really afraid of hearing: parent advocate and a lawyer. Now, depending on who you ask, pardon me, I have an itch, in the autism community, Autism Speaks, I feel, has been a very good tool. Their website has amazing links. Even if you don't want to deal with them, I strongly suggest visiting their website. They have a lot of networking websites. They have a lot of links and helpful tips for your state. Comes in multiple languages. And they actually provide you names and numbers of your state's autism society that also can provide you a free parent advocate and occasionally a free lawyer, depending on your income. Every state is different. I cannot, but utilize those tools that Autism Speaks website does provide you. Another fabulous website that I have come across is MAT, also known as My Autism Team. That's myautismteam.com. And I have connected with some amazing parents, moms and dads. It's solely a community for autistic children's parents to connect, share stories, bond, get advice. And they also have a portion where you can find a provider near you. And I think it's fabulous. I am not sponsored by any means by Autism Speaks, and I am not sponsored by myautismteam.com. I'm not sponsored at all. I'm doing all this from the bottom of my heart because I was a teenage mom with nowhere to turn to, and I want younger parents or even older parents that don't really have anywhere to turn to know you're not alone in this journey. And we're all in this together, and you're going to see that the autism community is like this, and we struggle together. We get those doors slammed in our faces together. We get told no together. But together, we can fight for our kids. There's a lot of programs and a lot of people that can help, and a lot of these things are for free. So, to sum it up, educate yourself on your state's laws and regulations for special education, for special needs kids, and what programs they have. Cry when you're first diagnosed. You're allowed to. Your child didn't pass away, but your hopes and dreams kinda did. That is not to say that your kids won't succeed. They're just gonna do it on their own pace. And you can't rush perfection. So, you know, when you're diagnosed, it's not the end of the world. You just gotta start a new normal. You know, routine. You're gonna learn routine, repetitivity, or repetitiveness, whichever. I am not an English major. Please do not crucify me for my speech. Um, and you're your child's voice, and you're gonna be their biggest ally. You're gonna be their biggest advocate. Don't take no for an answer. Fight. Fight, 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 fight. If you need a lawyer, go for it. If you feel like you don't think you could do it on your own, get an advocate. There's services for a reason. You're not alone. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoy my vlog, enjoy my video blog, and I'm hoping that I learn how to do this editing stuff and whatnot, but hopefully it could help. My contacts are on the page. If I'm looking at the screen, I believe it's this way, but I could be wrong. But my email's there. You can feel free to email me, comment, anything, and I'll try to help you as best I can. So, have a great night, and I hope I helped you guys, because that's all I really want to do. Spread awareness and help other parents, especially young ones, know there's people out there that are going through what you're going through. So, good night, God bless, and don't give up.